Oh, Larry King's here.
Oh.
Look at Larry.
Better turn this off.
Larry, come on in,
Come on
sir.
in, Larry.
Come on in, Larry.
Larry
Pull up
King.
your seat over here.
Okay, Opie.
So good to see Larry
Where's
King.
the energy today, Larry?
I got a lot of
He's
energy.
full
All
of
right.
energy.
I always have it.
Larry,
I
great.
got to make an observation really fast. This is, I
Well,
think, the
give
third.
me more earphone.
More earphone?
Give him a little more
I think you guys
phones.
do that over there,
Oh,
sir.
you got the volume under the console.
Do we have coffee here? Is there any connection?
Yes, we have
Get
coffee.
Larry some
that
coffee,
better on the
for the love
earphones?
of God.
Yeah, I guess that's
How do you
right.
take your coffee, sir?
I take my coffee with three
sugars.
equal or any of those and milk.
Not cream, right? You got to go whole milk.
I like milk.
You got to go milk.
Yeah.
Larry, I got an observation. This is, I think, your fourth time on our show.
Correct.
We feel like it's so, and I will not curse. I'll say it's really effed up that you are the king of interviews, and now we get to ask you questions.
It is amazing.
We're just two lousy guys from Long Island.
I'm honored that you would say that, and I appreciate it very much.
Oh, we bow to you.
Kings, presidents,
Right.
dignitaries, you've spoken to them all, and
now you're on our
it's
show.
an honor to have you in here, Mr. King.
Well, the truth of it is, no, the truth, it really is. You know, this may sound like baloney, but the pant leg goes on one leg at a time.
Yes.
Whether you're president
Or Heather Mills.
or Heather Mills, or even Heather
Jimmy.
I took her leg off on TV.
Did you?
Did you really?
I should see. I go to the moment.
Wow.
And she was describing her wooden leg, and I said, "Can I see it?" And she put it up and took it off.
Oh, wow.
Well, you see, because good broadcast, you two guys know that.
We're terrific
You take
broadcasters.
risks.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, you got it.
The only difference between the ordinary and the really good is the really good are not afraid.
You do have to.
The ordinary
Take your
are
risks.
afraid. So therefore, the ordinary they think like this. Can I say that? There used to be a sign in the first radio station I ever worked at, and it said, "If in doubt,
No
leave
blacks.
if in doubt, leave it out."
Right.
I broke that rule.
Good
Wow.
for you.
So I didn't have doubt. I trusted my broadcast instincts.
Yeah.
With that said, because even in our radio careers, we've seen so much change. What did you do way back then that was like unheard of, where you
Well,
finally
the only
broke
thing
the
was,
rule?
I was myself.
Right.
If I was funny, I was funny. I was a good interviewer. I was curious. I
Right.
knew sense of pace. I loved radio. Mm-hmm. And when I got into television soon after, I loved television. I loved communicating, and that came through to people.
Right.
They knew that what I'm doing right this minute, I love. Not like.
Yeah.
Love. And I think every good performer or broadcaster loves, no matter what the style can change, but you got to love it. You got to take it seriously. And I love this business. I think it's the greatest way not to work.
Right.
And
For example, you guys are not working now.
No.
No.
I never even think that.
The last time
All right, Reg.
the last time I worked was an assistant on a United Parcel Service truck. Before I broke into radio, United Parcel Service used to deliver for all the department stores in Manhattan. And I was on a delivery truck. I was a helper. I didn't drive, but I stood on the side. We carried up television sets from Macy's.
Did you have to crank the front of the truck?
What year were you born? Crank the front of the truck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I had to wear my brown uniform.
Oh, you did?
And all of us had to look in the mirror every day, and our hats had to be correct.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were very
brown.
strict about the uniform.
We didn't have airplanes then. We just had
That was it.
trucks.
What year was that you worked for UPS?
56.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I broke into radio in 57 in Miami.
And you were friends, and we were reading something about you. You knew Gandolfini, and you were with him at some event.
I knew James. I had interviewed him a couple of times, and I was at the Muhammad Ali dinner, which all the boxing champions came to, and he and I were at the same table, sat next to each other, and he was a big boxing fan, and we talked about many things. A new show he was going to do on HBO, how very happy he was. He had this little baby girl, and he had a new life, and we talked also about the strange things that happened to him. It was a very interesting conversation. That hasn't happened to many character actors. The only one we could think of was Carol O'Connor, who's a character actor who's been in many movies, plays, who you'd see on the street and you didn't know the name, but I know that guy. Yeah, I've seen him in him. and then you become a star.
All in the
And
family do,
what's
yeah.
it like to be a working character actor and then become a star? And having to deal with that, because you never went in it for stardom.
Right.
You didn't go in to be the lead. And you're comfortable as a character actor because you can go into many roles, and you
Sure.
like the idea of many roles. You like being a different guy today and you are tomorrow. And now you get to be a starring role, so you're Tony Soprano. And the world sees you as Tony Soprano. So nobody's coming over to give you the character actor parts anymore.
Yeah.
So you're happy when you leave it. And then you go back and you do things like, he did that great play.
Right.
You don't think
Carnage.
character actors at some point, though, they aspire to be stars? I think
Some
a
do
lot.
and some don't. I just
Really?
interviewed Jane Lynch yesterday. She had no desire to be a star.
Really?
Yeah, she loved doing what she was doing.
She's pretty famous, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Please.
God,
Now?
she's extremely famous.
yeah,
And you
yeah.
really believe that when they tell you they have no desire to be famous?
Well, but, take Gandolfini, what he said to me. Now look at me. I'm an overweight Italian guy from New Jersey. I know how to act. Am I a leading man? But Tony Soprano made him a leading man.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have bet on that.
Right.
There's so many things that come about that you would have never bet on. I was talking about this the other day. If 20 years ago I tell you we're going to have a black president and gays can get married,
Whoa.
come on.
I would have moved to
What
Canada.
world are you living in, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Did
Supreme
anybody
Court
ever,
ruled today yet?
did anybody
It's
ever
too early.
intimidate
It's a little early, yeah.
What were they ruling on?
The gay marriage, Proposition 8, California.
Oh,
and
right.
Defense of Marriage Act.
Were you ever intimidated by an interview? Like, did somebody?
No, I mean,
The only time it was momentarily was the first 30 seconds with Sinatra.
Wow.
Because Jackie Gleason had got Sinatra for me.
Right.
It's a great story.
Well, Larry, I got to fill you in. You did tell it last time.
I know, it's a great story.
Okay.
Yeah, why
yes.
you
I don't
keep
wanna-
yelling at
What the
Larry?
hell? I didn't hear it. I wasn't
Larry
here
knows.
last time.
Yes, you did.
I apologize
I
for him,
didn't hear it.
Larry. You're yelling at Larry King.
What's going on with you
No,
today?
well, hold it. He can yell at me. He is helping me. Are you Opie?
Yes.
Opie, I want to tell you something. Opie.
Yes.
Sometimes it pays to listen to your elders. Anthony is your elder.
He said elders. I like that.
Now, what Anthony was doing there was helping me.
I was
So
protecting
what he
you,
was saying
Larry.
to me, don't embarrass yourself. You've told the story before, and then you're going to seem like you're redundant.
Right. Yes.
He asked me, were you ever intimidated? So I said yes, the first time I interviewed Sinatra, and then I thought of the story. But I
Right.
had forgotten that I had told it here.
Yes.
You tell
But
a lot of, yeah.
Helpful
obviously.
Anthony.
I tried to be
Helpful, Anthony. I
tried
want
to
to
be
hear a
helpful.
Jackie
Helpful
Gleason
Anthony, but
story.
you're missing the important thing is that he's going to stand up and say, what does redundant mean? Sorry, Rich.
It's all right. Don't you know what?
Anyway. I would say that the first time in the White House,
so right
I
on.
might have been doing an interview in the White House was a little intimidating.
In the White House, yeah. Wow, that's got to be. What president was that?
The one in the White House was I interviewed Reagan and Nixon after the White House. In the White House was Bush 41.
Oh, okay.
And Barbara Bush, who became a very good friend of mine, came over to me and said, "Suspenders in the White House, Larry."
Oh, wow,
Suspended.
yeah.
And I said, "That's my gag. That's my gab. That's what I wear."
How many presidents did you interview?
7.
It's 7. Which 7? You got to go.
World leaders. Well, go Nixon,
Right.
Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Carter, Bush 2, and Obama.
Never Ford?
Oh, and Ford.
Who's the
Maybe that
most
might- Clinton.
Yeah,
Clinton?
by far,
Oh,
right?
come on.
Yeah.
Clinton. You could hate Bill Clinton,
Yeah.
despise his politics, think he has no character, and I'll put you in a room with him for 5 minutes.
You'll
and you
love
won
him.
over. He also was a great president.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
knew
yeah.
how to balance his life.
Mm-hmm.
He overcame great things, and he's regarded now as a president people miss.
Yeah, he did wind up. Everyone thought that scandal, his little sex scandal there, was going to ruin his legacy, but it just goes to show how good of a job he did as president.
Yeah.
That he overcame that in as far as history goes.
I pointed at the TV because Larry King was just on.
Yeah, I'm
man.
on that guy George Papadopoulos.
Yeah. He might want
I'm
to change
on-
his name for showbiz. Don't you think, Larry?
I'm on Friday night with him on CNN. He doesn't work for CNN. He's got a package show. And there's
okay.
like 8 shows run Friday. He is very good.
He's a star from Canada, I think.
Big star. I was on his show first in Canada years ago, and he's a wonderful interviewer. He understands. He's at ease. He has good questions. It's a very relaxed format. I don't know if CNN is kind of looking at him for something, but he's very big in Canada.
Have you ever, when you interviewed like a president or something, and you said you know they're all such charismatic, powerful speakers? Have you ever kind of had an uncomfortable moment with one where you wanted to make a political point, or where there was kind of a push and pull between you and one of those guys?
I never had a problem with presidents. Are easy because they've made it to the top, and they don't. It's kind of funny. They're in a position where they don't need you. You need them. They don't need you. And I've always had a good time with them. Some are better than others. Clinton was very good. Carter was very bright. Reagan was very human.
Right.
I remember talking to Reagan about. Well, I always try to ask human questions. I always felt that I'm the kind of interviewer. Even now on the internet every day on Hulu, I ask questions that the public would ask. I'm just a man of the people. They call New Yorker did a story on me. They call it street talk. So Reagan, I asked, what was it like to be shot?
Wow. A lot of people would want to know that.
Yeah.
Sure.
But some might say, well, can I ask him that? And then, he said, I didn't know I was shot.
That's amazing.
Because I heard a kind of sound, and the Secret Service guy pushed me so hard that I thought the pain was from the push. The pain was from the bullet.
Yeah. I just recently saw a documentary on that whole shooting, and it was an amazing story. The bullet actually hit the door of the limo, flattened out, and then entered his side in such a little slit pattern. It wasn't a bullet hole, and that's why they had such a problem even realizing it was shot and finding it, because it ended up like a little coin slot.
Yeah.
Went right in him that way.
Not too far from the heart.
Right, yeah, very dangerous.
I was taken to that same emergency room, the Ronald Reagan room, when I had my heart attack.
Really?
Yeah, they took me into that same room. That's
Wow.
so famous. And that emergency room is named after Nancy Reagan now.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. At George Washington Hospital.
When did you have the heart attack?
Oh, what a story. 1987, I was a smoker, a 3-pack-a-day smoker, and I stopped smoking that day. But
Cigarettes could be the worst thing that anyone can do to themselves.
3-pack-a-day, I was an idiot. But I liked it, and I was smoking. And anyway, I finished the television show, and the guest was C. Everett Koop.
Oh, God.
The Surgeon General.
Come on.
Yeah,
Surgeon,
yeah.
I swear to God. And he says to me, you don't look good. I said, what do you mean? He said, I don't like the way, you still smoking? I said, yeah. He says, wow, you got a gray pallor. You got to see a doctor.
And would you go?
Wow.
And you go,
So I said,
what does he know?
No, I said, no, I appreciate it, thank you. Now I had to go do the radio show. I'm doing both. So I'm doing my CNN show. Now I go do the radio show. And David Halberstam, the late David Halberstam, wonderful writer. I finished with him, and he says, are you feeling okay?
Wow.
I said, what do you mean? He said, you don't look good. So I go back home, and I was doing the all-night show. It's like 5 in the morning, and I started to get this pain, not in the chest, but in the right shoulder.
Oh, boy.
And the pain is going down the right shoulder. It was terrible pain. So I called up my doctor, and he said, that could be gallbladder, because gallbladder has a refracting plane, and the pain can go to the arm. He says, go over to the emergency room. By this time, it was like 7 in the morning. So I called my producer, and he came and got me, and we drove over to George Washington University Hospital, where Reagan was taken. And as we're pulling in, the pain goes away. Actually, and I'm smoking.
Oh, my God.
Pain goes away. So I said, let's pull out, and we'll leave. I'm fine. It was a.
Oh, you were right there.
And what happens is a cop says to her, you got to move the car. So she said to me, the producer, why don't you go in? See, just go in, and I'll pull around. So I said, okay, I don't have to go in. I'm not in pain. So I go in, and there's a lot of people in the emergency room. It's snowing, February morning. And this guy comes up, big guy. You know what I mean? He says, are you okay? Now, that's the third, are you okay?
Wow.
He says, I don't like the way you look. And what they have is spotters in the emergency room, so you don't have to wait on line.
Almost like a triage.
It could be a guy with a broken arm, and another guy with a heart attack. So they took me right into this room where Reagan was taken, and they started doing tests. And this cardiologist came down. And he said, I don't like the way you look. I know you've had the pain. You're not having it now. I think it might be serious. I'm going to ask you to do something. Don't leave. I'll stay here with you because I think that pain's coming back. And when it comes back, we're going to take some blood tests. So they hooked me up ready to take blood. And he said it's going to come back. We sat there. We talked about sports for about a half hour. And suddenly, whack, here come the pain.
Wow.
And the pain comes back and it's going right down my right arm. And they take these blood tests. And then they go across the room and they're looking at the results up on a chart. And I'm sitting there and my producer's standing next to me. And suddenly a blue light goes off.
Wow.
And they all turn around, the doctors and nurses, and they come running toward me. And it's funny how humor works. I leaned over the producer and said, I don't think this is a pulled muscle. And the doctor came right over and said, and you never forget that moment, Mr. King, you're having a heart attack.
Jesus.
And I said, am I going to live? And he said, good question. He said, that's why they pay you the big bucks, to ask good questions. That's what he said. We don't know. The next 24 hours is telling. The lucky part is it's a right side heart attack. And generally 50% of those recover. So we're going to keep you here naturally and do your tests. And we're going to give you this IPA, a special injection will stop the pain. And I was in the hospital with a heart attack and subsequently went home. And
After how much time did you go home?
about a week. Stopped smoking that day. Never threw cigarettes. I had cigarettes in my pocket. Threw them in the Potomac. And then 6 months later, I go in for a stress test. And the doctor made me step off the machine in 1 minute and said, there's something really wrong.
Wow.
They did a test and he said, you're going to need bypass surgery. Bypass surgery. So I'm scared of that naturally. And I said, I want a second opinion. So we called a friend in New York. And the doctor there said, you need it. So I decided to do it in New York because I wanted to die in New York.
Wow.
I was born and raised, I was very pessimistic.
Oh, wow.
I was born
shit.
and raised in New York. I was having the pain. I stopped smoking, but I was still having this. It was bitchy, man. It was terrible. So I go to New York, so now it turns funny. It's funny now, by the way. It wasn't funny when it
Right
was
at the
happening.
time, no.
It's a rainy November morning, end of November, rainy morning, 1987, November 30th. My brother takes me. We get to New York Hospital, walk in, and standing right there is Governor Mario Cuomo and the president of New York Hospital. And they said, Mr. King, you don't have to fill out the forms. We'll take you right up to the 15th floor. We have a special room for you, and your surgery's tomorrow. So I'm scared that I go up in this room. They show me this room. What a room. Inlaid carpeting, a view of the East River. It's raining. I'm looking down the East River. Beautiful television sets, chest of drawers. The only thing that told you that was a hospital room was a hospital bed. Other than that, everything was like a suite. And the president of New York Hospital says to me, Mr. King, I'll have you know that the Shah of Iran stayed in this room. And I said, as I recollect, he died. How about you put me in a ward with 48 people, all of whom go home? So it was, now I have not met this gets funnier.
Oh my God.
It's not funny in the telling, not funny at the time.
I understand.
Now I have not met my surgeon. He comes in the door. It's raining. It's Sunday. My agent is sitting there, Bob Wolf, the late Bob Wolf, my brother. He comes in. He's got a 10-gallon hat, big cowboy boots.
Wow.
Dr. Wayne Isom. He wound up doing Letterman and he did a lot of famous. We did Walter Cronkite. Wonderful man. Became friends. But at that time, I didn't know him. And he goes, Mr. King, you're going to do right fine. Right fine. I looked at the films. It should be a breeze. You're going to do right fine. I discovered that way back. All heart surgeons are either from Texas or Jewish. There's no South Dakota Republican heart surgeon. And he comes over to me, and he starts to do the thing that they all do. They take the two fingers.
Start
And
tapping.
they tap the chest, which I discover is the first thing they learn in medical school. Tapping. And as I look down, I swear to God, he has no right thumb.
Whoa.
And he's
your
doing the
surgeon.
surgery?
Oh, wow.
Doing my surgery. He's got no right thumb. It turned out there was a shearing accident. His mother was doing leaves and cut it and made him ambidextrous. This I discovered later. But now, I'm looking down, I'm scared to death.
Yeah.
He's telling me what they're going to do. They're going to cut open my chest with a saw, pull it apart, move my heart, put my heart on a lung machine and heart-lung machine. I'm listening to all this, and he's got. So here's what I said, and this humor can come from anywhere. I said, Doctor, I have had this strange habit all my life. When I meet people, for some reason, I count their fingers. with you, I get to 9. So he explained to me the shearing axe and everything. And I swear to God, I go to sleep that night and I dream that he's shaving and he cut his other thumb.
Oh.
Now he's got 8 fingers. And he says to the nurse, how many are we doing today? And she says, 5. Who's first? King. And he says, oh, we'll try King. And then I goes, but it came through, and I had all my pellets in me. They put inside, and that was 1987, and this is 2013. So
26 years, right?
26 years, and I needed a stent. 10 years later, they put a stent in.
But you eat probably pretty healthy, and
I try to eat healthy. I don't exercise as much as I used to. I walk a lot. I'm 79. I don't feel 79. I'm doing stuff. I'm on the internet. I'm doing a Hulu show.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm doing all I'm doing. I'm doing speeches everywhere. I do a comedy tour because I couldn't retire.
And
No.
I noticed CNN is starting to use you a lot more too again.
Yeah, when people die.
No, I've seen you on there a lot lately.
On what?
What?
I didn't hear you.
on CNN.
When people die,
Yeah.
I interviewed them, and they have all these tapes.
Right.
Oh, they do, yeah.
They're standing by. Called me yesterday. They said that Mandela was critical, and
Yeah. That's
would I
just a
come
matter of
over, and I
time.
would go over and do it. And so they have all that. And then I'm on this show, George Bomanopoulos.
It almost sounds like Stephanopoulos.
Stephanopoulos.
It sounds like
Yeah.
Stephanopoulos. He's
Oh, it's not
very
him?
good, and
No,
that's on-
no.
Oh.
It's, they make fun of the fact that his name's
Yeah,
close
he's from
to that.
Canada.
Oh, I thought it was
It's
someone-
on
He-
Friday night.
He really is a rock star in
it's a
Canada, this
very,
guy.
yeah, it's a very good hour.
Can I ask you about Obama? What do you think of the job he's doing?
Mixed.
Mixed.
I like him. He's one of the
Not
smart.
his background.
One is
Mixed. Okay. Right. Sorry, Larry.
So Anthony got famous.
Yeah.
He's a very, very interesting man. I'm reading a book about him and his relationship with the Supreme Court. He's awfully smart. He's not a touchy-feely guy. Mm-hmm. He's calm in his own skin, very self-confident, a brilliant campaigner.
Oh, yeah.
The campaign he ran the first time and the second time were genius. You know, they were never in doubt.
Really? Never.
No, never in doubt. I've talked to the people who work with them. They had it down all around the country.
Even when the polls were
They knew the
showing.
internet didn't matter, the bad first debate.
Amazing.
Because they contacted about 1 million people a day.
Wow.
Got calls every day.
Wow.
In key areas. If they're in Ohio and areas where they looked they were in trouble, and they made personal contacts. And he had recordings going out, and it was just a genius camp. They knew how to use modern technology, and they did it very well. And then he got the aid because he was aided by the Latino vote, which the Republicans
Sure.
look like they're throwing away.
Right.
And women, single women, they're a big voting bloc today. So.
What do you think about the relationship with the Supreme Court, though? Like with Kagan, he put Kagan in, and she was, and she wasn't even a judge, right? She was.
Well, but she's very smart.
She is.
You don't have to be a judge.
Right.
You know, you don't have to be a lawyer to be on the Supreme Court.
I know that.
You don't have to be a lawyer.
Could we be on the Supreme Court, Mr. King?
I'm very fair.
You know, just for the humor of it, I'd like to see.
Yeah.
And now it's decision day.
Yes.
And Mr. Opie will read for the majority.
I like it.
The vote is 4-4 and 1. I don't get it.
Oh, and
Here's Opie reading the opinion. Opie reading the opinion on Prop 8,
I
the gay
like
marriage prop in California.
Yeah.
I say let the kids
Let's
get
say,
married.
look, they want to get married. Let them get married.
I would just say let them get married,
Let them
Larry.
get married. Let them-
Why do I care?
Why do I have to deal with all this? You want it? That's my reading.
Exactly.
There you go.
Go. Good luck to you.
And I also,
like an everyman.
I'm a huge fan of Larry King, and I loved him on CNN. And you always did great with the pop culture stuff. What did you think of Nick Wallenda in the Grand Canyon?
I was on yesterday. I was on The View, and he was on after me.
He's coming in today too.
Yeah. Is he going to walk? They won't let him walk the two buildings.
You know, in New York, they're not going to let him do that.
What is it, Chrysler to the Empire State?
Yeah,
they won't let
that's
him.
what he wanted.
Do you remember when Philippe Petit did it back in 1974?
70, I'm going to say early 70s with the trade
And
centers.
then there was another guy climbed the buildings.
Oh, that was George Willig.
Yeah, but he had mountain climber equipment.
No, we're talking about Philippe Petit, who
You
snuck.
know all these little insignificant.
I love
Yes.
those stunty things that happen in New York.
I knew the Wallendas. The father is dead now, I guess.
Carl,
Yeah.
right?
Carl
You knew
Wallenda.
him?
Yeah, knew him long ago. I wonder, and I knew, of course, the crazy guy who jumped Grand Canyon in a motorcycle.
Oh, Evil Knievel, sure.
yeah.
Evil was a fun guy. I liked Evil.
Yeah.
His beautiful sister, by the way.
What do you think of all the 10-second
Oh,
delays
Larry.
now? Evil would jump and there'd be no delay. We just saw him fall, and now they have to put a delay on everything.
But I always want guys like the Wallendas. This is so Jewish of me. There's not one Jewish. There's not one Jewish
ghost.
tightrope walker. No Jew
no
in the
Jewish
world.
No.
tightrope
You
walker.
could be a great fighter. You could be an Israeli fighter. They could
yeah.
go in with a manhunt and 10 machine gun nests. But there's not a Jew who would walk from the Chrysler building. What the hell are you?
Not even on the
crazy?
ground.
Are you nuts? Are you nuts?
That's crazy.
So I'm trying to what they get out of it. What
lot-
do you think that Wallenda gets out of it?
a lot of money. I'm sure he made a couple mil.
Do you think?
Who pays him?
It's kind of selfish to his family, don't you think? He's got 3 little kids on the other side and a wife
Well,
freaking
who
out.
pays for this, and what do the payer get out of it?
I would assume Discovery gave him a nice paycheck, and
Channel.
then, it's good for his brand.
Watching somebody beat and do what we would never do is what we get out of it. We get,
I know what we get out
but
of it.
out of him, it's the same feeling you get when you conquer something. Probably it's addicting. Like every time you do a big interview. I mean, I'm sure you want the net. You don't want to just start interviewing nobodies after that. Like it's the
Yeah,
high
you're
of
on the high.
accomplishment.
I understand the high. It's just dangerous highs. I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm not like that either.
Well, he's an adrenaline junkie, probably.
Yeah.
Thrill
Right?
seekers.
Yeah.
Who was the crew that you would like hang around with at the end of the night? Like say like your friends, like what?
Oh, the
was it
guys
like-
I grew up with.
What it wasn't entertainers? Or
No,
what? No.
guys I grew up with. I've gotten very friendly with Al Pacino, who lives a couple blocks from me in L.A. Politicians I've gotten real friendly with Mario Cuomo. Pretty friendly with Clinton. Bush the first, I keep in touch with him. But I'm talking about friends. Friends are 3 guys I grew up with in Brooklyn and Bensonhurst. They're still my friends, and to them I'm Larry Zeiger.
Yeah.
They have no airs about them, and they're all good guys. And
Still bust your balls and like friends do. and-
yeah, and they do,
Yeah,
and they kid around a lot, and they're also protective of me.
Sure.
People come down the street, but I never left my root. I left Brooklyn, but Brooklyn never left me. I'm still a Brooklyn guy. So when I come back to New York, I live in Beverly Hills. I got a beautiful house. I got a beautiful wife and two young boys.
Larry,
14.
bragging.
Well, you know what I say? This is the truth. I walk down the street with the wife,
Yeah.
and people see me and they see her, and there's a big age difference.
Sure.
And she's really pretty.
Yes.
And they look at me and they look at her and they look at me and they look at her, and I know what they're thinking.
Uh-huh.
So I always say the same thing. If she dies, she dies. Get another girl.
Holy
Life goes on. I got 2 young boys that did it without Viagra. I got a 14 and a 13-year-old, and that keeps me young.
Yeah.
I go to the baseball games, and I help coach the teams. And my 14-year-old is going to Notre Dame High School now, which has 4 kids in the major leagues. He's very into baseball.
Yeah.
Is he good?
He's very good.
He's very good.
Middle infielder. She's a Derek Jeter type.
Really?
He hits the ball square, knows fielding, knows the game.
So he's got real skills.
Skills. His
Wow.
younger brother may be a better all-around athlete. Football, tennis, soccer, baseball, jump off walls. But they're so different. You guys have kids?
I got 2.
I have 3 of them.
Are they different?
Huh?
Oh, they
Well,
kill one
black
from the other.
So I got 2 in college and 1 in kindergarten, first grade. I got 23, 20, 21, and a 5-year-old. So
Well, I got 13, 14, 44, 51, and 58.
That's amazing.
You got a 58-year-old?
I know. I
Wow.
adopted him, yeah. I adopted him when he was 10.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I'm 79. You could have a 58-year-old.
Sure.
Yeah, but
Of
you look
course.
a lot younger than 79.
You know what I take that helps me keep young? It's banned in baseball, HGH.
Oh, really?
Human growth hormone.
Is that good?
I take it in pill form. players have taken an injection for. It's supposed to keep you younger and you quick recovery from injury. I've been taking it for 16 years.
Gee.
It's not banned in life. It's banned in baseball.
Right. Yeah,
what are the
yeah,
downsides to it, though? Why would
I have had no reaction to it. So I don't know what it does, except people tell me I don't look my age. I take a lot of vitamins.
Larry stands up, he's got a tail.
I take medication.
Wait, you take HGH? How do you get that?
You buy it from. You can get it in
GNC.
GNC.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna start taking
I
that.
will too.
Man, right? If that isn't an endorsement,
Oh my God! if
just
Larry,
walking around.
Well, he used to. What was the big
Larry,
one?
what about garlic?
Garlic. It was. That's right.
Garlic as in unique, as in garlic. Boy.
that was your big sponsorship.
That was the spot.
Are they still around? Boy, we did good business.
We
with
used to
them.
make-
Certainly, you
I
became
hate-
synonymous with garlic.
and
It
we
was-
might have made fun of it,
Yeah,
Larry,
yeah.
over the years.
Well, everybody
we might have
kinda-
made fun of it a few
I
times.
also did Welch's grape juice.
Welch's.
Welch's grape juice,
Yes.
Florida orange juice,
Wow, yeah.
garlic, unique as in garlic. And now I'm doing a vitamin commercial now for fish oil. Which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
Great,
That's a big one.
That is good.
Yeah, I
great
did that.
supplement.
Yeah.
That's the best supplement.
I-
only supplement that the FDA approves.
I have it, and I don't take it.
Why?
I don't know.
He's not going to eat his relatives.
Oh, jeez.
He's implying that I'm fish looking. That's why he's in the corner. He's just mean spirited.
That's
Explain to
just
me.
terrible.
There's Opie and Anthony, and
That
Who
guy.
am I?
That's Rich Voss.
Exactly.
I'm a comedian. I
He's
just
the world's
stopped in
tallest dwarf, and
he just stops in.
he just
Yeah,
stops
he
in.
just
stopped in to
stops
plug
in.
my gig.
He's a local comic. It's first time he's
No,
on
a
our show.
national comic
First time on our show. We don't know much
What
about
is
him.
Surrender Dorothy?
Said he could sit in
from
for
The
the
Wizard
interview.
of Oz.
Yes.
It's a shirt. My kid bought it.
And you?
Well, I'm. That's a little hurtful, Larry. I'm here every time you come in.
No, but here's the problem. You do look like a fish. No. I mean that as a compliment.
Oh, and I'm
Some
taking
fish
it as
are very
one.
great. And they never identify you. They never introduce you.
That is terrible.
Opie
I know.
and Anthony. So-
I'm Jim Norton.
That's
and
Jim Norton.
Hi, Larry.
And what are you to the Opie and Anthony show?
I am the anchor.
The albatross.
The thing that
yes.
stops it from going to superstardom. No, I'm just kind of the third guy in the room, and it's just a little something I've been doing for 11 years.
By the way, a couple of questions. 'Cause
Yes,
I'm very
sir.
Curious.
Oh no.
Are you paid?
Yes. Now the next question is it what they're paid? No.
Is this a radio show?
I guess.
We hope.
Some
Why-
would say.
Why is there a beautiful lady at the camera?
That's Sam.
They film it and maybe they'll throw like 5 minutes up on the website.
Yeah, they put it on the website.
You know, a little highlight.
Oh, I
A little
see.
highlight.
So I understand that. Now explain the guy in the corner.
That's
Exactly.
Yeah, we've been trying
been
to figure
trying.
that out for a
Looks
while.
like Buana of the jungle.
Buana.
What is he?
He says he doesn't have any black in him.
An ass.
Which confuses us. He's got kind of
What
black
do you,
features.
What do you do?
Well, usually I sit over there. But when there's a guest in, I video them.
Oh, but when you sit over there, what do you do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be our web guy, so and kind of a very immediate producer of
How
the show.
big is this production? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, it's
is
crazy.
it 6 every day?
Yeah, and
we
plus
got other
there's
guys.
people in the other room.
That's one person.
Yeah.
It
Do you
looks
play
like
music?
people.
No,
no music.
Larry.
Not at
Do
all.
you always have guests, or do you sometimes just jabber?
A lot of times we have guests, but we like it too when there's no guests, so we could just kind of
Do our thing.
talk about our
So I'm not up early in the morning.
day's
in Southern
events.
California. Do you talk news?
yes,
Yes.
We do.
yes.
So, like, are you talking about Supreme Court decisions?
No.
today?
Yeah, the
Not so much.
voting rights.
I disagree with that.
You
decision.
disagree with that one? You think it sets
A bad precedent.
sets voting rights back a
Well,
few years?
Judge Roberts began by saying, "America is not the same as it was 40 years ago."
This is
That's what he
true.
said. Therefore, he should definitely vote to throw out Proposition 8 today,
Let's hope so.
if it's not as it was 40 years ago.
Well, that's true. I like how they call it marriage protection also. Like anytime they get to vote on anything, it's always something that they're giving you and protecting this. And it's
They're
not
gonna-
taking away something.
That act, I think they'll throw out.
'Cause, I think a lot of-
national, what do they call it, the marriage?
Marriage
Yeah,
protect- Defensive Marriage Act.
Yeah, Defensive Marriage Act.
That's gone.
When
I
you're
predict
talking
that.
about gun control legislation, it's usually presented as some type of safety, like we're going to make you safer. Meanwhile, it's
You ever read the Second Amendment? They're talking about an army. It reads, in order to form
Yes.
a perfect militia, the right of the people to bear arms shall not be taken.
Larry,
Infringement.
I
They're
understand.
talking about, why did they write militia?
Right.
You know why?
Why?
Let me explain why. And it is simple if you read it. It was written very simply. It's to form a militia, you need the public to be armed, so that if a militia is necessary to defend your country or your segment of the country that you live in, you need to be able to get a militia together, a well-organized militia, very quickly.
But we have
so
done something about that. It's called the Army.
No,
Yes.
but the Army
The
is
Air Force.
But the Army and Air Force is the state. That is the state. The people need the right to
But
bear
the people
arms.
are the state.
Well, that's what they intended, and if that ever changes, where the state is
So
against
you think
the
it's
people,
all right for people to have guns?
I think it's absolutely all right for people to have guns. I think it's a Second Amendment right that is very important to this country, very important to our democracy.
I don't agree at all.
I have to disagree with you on that.
Wait,
then, Larry.
let's get Larry's take on it, though.
Okay, I interviewed the head of Scotland Yard once,
Oh,
and he said
I know him.
he
Jimmy
could
speaks
not.
like him.
It was beyond his sense of belief that Americans carry pistols. He couldn't. I never saw a man like this. He could not. He said, "You mean that any American go into a store?" And he understood hunting rifles, and he understood seasons for hunting and times of the year when you can hunt and rules about hunting. But you can go in and have a gun. And then he said, "Well, what are the statistics? How many robbers or people breaking into homes were shot yesterday in America by people defending their home?" My guess, none. Maybe one.
you think it's that?
What are the statistics on guns killing family members? High. What are the statistics on guns with alcohol use? Very high. Are most people who are killed by guns are people killing people they know? Yes. Why do you want guns?
It is the right to protect yourself. I
know,
believe.
but what are the instances where you need it?
Well, you know what? I haven't gotten a flat tire in quite a while, but I kind of like having a spare in my car. I don't think because nothing has happened
I
doesn't
know,
mean it
but
might
You have children.
not have. I don't have children. No.
All right. But people with children, there's
He's
a good
infinite.
chance that one child will shoot another
There's
child.
not a
much
good
more
chance,
than you.
Larry. Let's be
Oh, no,
real.
no.
There's not a good
Okay,
chance.
There's a better chance of that than you shooting a burglar.
Well, there's a better chance because the odds that a burglar coming in is a lot smaller than you having kids around. But if you're a responsible gun owner, that's the thing. Any type of powerful instrument, whether it's a car or a gun or a machine that you work on at the job, you have to be responsible. There is an element of responsibility with gun ownership that has to be adhered
But
to.
when you have a constitutional right,
Yes.
you don't have that responsibility. In other words,
No,
wait a
rights
minute,
come
we're
with great responsibility. You should know that
No,
just from the First
doesn't
Amendment.
say that in the law. No. Wait a minute. Hold it. When you have a right, that's inherent. You have a
Sure.
right to have a gun. That's what you're saying. It says.
Right, yes.
It don't say you have to be responsible. I just have a right.
No, but a
Like, for
responsibility
example,
is...
an automobile is not a right.
Right.
So I have the right to test you, license you, right? Because it's not a God-given right.
Sure.
But I can't stop you from free speech.
No, but even with free speech, there is an element of responsibility that goes along with that.
But if you're irresponsible, what can happen to you?
With the First Amendment, you could be arrested. The typical
Fire in a
theater.
Only if a panic occurs.
Inciting riots.
Only if a panic occurs.
Well, true, but also in these days, there are people that are losing their jobs based on what they say. There are consequences that go along with every right and the abuse of those rights.
We're never going to come to agreement. I
we're not.
think the gun society is insane. I think America is insane.
I think the media takes it and really does blow it way out of proportion.
Well, shoot up 24 children. Let's not cover it.
No, I would never downplay that, Larry. I'm not saying that isn't a huge tragedy. What I'm saying is there is a portion of the media that loves to throw that out there like it's commonplace. And the truth of the matter is, it's not commonplace. And a lot of these gun crimes, especially these days, and gun violence, is a culture. It is not a mechanical thing. It is not a gun, a machine that is doing the killing. It is a cultural problem in this country with gang violence. There's
But what if they didn't have guns?
they have guns, Larry. Look at prohibition. Look at prohibition.
That's different.
Honestly,
What if they didn't have guns?
If they didn't have guns, there'd be other ways that they would kill each other. Not as efficiently, but they would still be killing each
You
other.
use the word efficiently.
Yeah.
I would feel better if nobody had guns.
I feel
do
better
not think
myself protecting myself with a gun. I enjoy.
I don't want a gun in my house.
I enjoy being able to have a gun responsibly, have it on me, or have it locked away. If
You're not a Tea Partier who believes the police will come and take your guns.
No,
That's what they fear.
I don't believe the police are going to come and take my guns, but through very sneaky legislation, I do believe that these restrictions will keep piling up until it becomes virtually impossible to get guns or ammunition, or they have infringed on a right that it says shall not be infringed upon.
I read the amendment differently, but
okay,
that's what makes the world go round.
It certainly does, Mr. King.
They're telling us we have to.
I must just tell you something. Honestly, I am honored to sit here and debate with you for a little bit.
It's a healthy debate.
The
Second Amendment should
sense.
be debated.
It should be.
The founding fathers were not. They were okay. They weren't geniuses.
No, of course not.
And that there's things they could not have known about. I mean, look at how the world
exactly
has. God, could you go to Thomas Jefferson and explain to him satellites?
No, but you could explain Sam's hair and he'd get it.
Related to Thomas Jefferson.
Some family overlaps between the help and the house.
That's what you're saying is.
No, he's with Larry.
So I got it. If Thomas Jefferson walked in this room, the only person he would grovel to is Sam.
Sure. Sam's in his bloodline, for real.
Yeah,
he's related to Thomas Jefferson.
And we're thinking it's from the side of the family that they tried to
push
keep
down
quiet for
bit.
a while, but it came out.
Yeah, that's real.
The best thing ever said about Jefferson was said by John Kennedy when he hosted a dinner of Nobel Prize winners in the Blue Room at the White House. It's a great line. And he said, "This is the greatest collection of minds ever to dine in this room, except when Jefferson ate alone."
That's a good one.
So you have great bloodlines. So what are you doing standing in a corner running with a little mic? You think Jefferson would be doing this?
No.
Isn't that to start somewhere?
Yeah.
It'll be a shanda.
Yes.
He's an up and coming broadcaster.
Yeah, he's more like the Sherman Hemsley Jefferson.
Hey, Jefferson made it with slaves, though.
Right.
That's exactly the hair we're thinking.
Yeah, we're trying to figure
His
it out.
founding father, Ben Franklin, he was a cut up.
Yeah.
Ben Franklin was quite a ladies' man, going over to France and tearing it up over there. Very international man of mystery, that
Did
guy.
not know how many children he had.
Yeah.
It's a great pleasure to be with you.
Larry, as usual,
Anthony.
I love it. Love having you in.
And I have only one thing to say to you, Anthony.
Yes, sir. Oh, he just shot me.
Thank you, Larry.
Thanks,
You made
Larry.
this